I am here with Coach Rance, and we both work for Revero, and we're both certified health coaches, although Rance is also a board certified health coach.
All those letters. I took them off because there's so many letters.
I took mine off too, so it's interesting. You start, you know, you start racking up all these letters.
Oh
Why
yeah.
did you why did you decide to get so many letters after your name? We'll chit chat while we're waiting for more people to pop in.
And honestly, well, that like the NBC HWC is just one title, and it's always honestly driven me a little crazy. It's like, why is it not a shorter title? Why can't it be like 2 letters or just 4? BCHC.
I'm not sure.
But I don't know. I mean, I have others I don't list, but it's
Yeah.
that fear of like, are they going to see the alphabet and be like, why is that there?
Yeah. So
But
for my people who don't know who you are, just tell us who you are real quick.
oh yeah. So hello. I'm Rance. I am coach at Revero. I have my own practice as well, and I host a community called the Keto Keep. So there's that. But I've been carnivore for over 8 years now, not by choice necessarily, but by necessity. Although I could probably veer off at this point. But yeah, I had really messed up health in my late teens and early 20s. Had the body of probably what most people consider an 80-year-old man heading down a bad path, but I turned it around with this, and now I just try to do my best to help other people avoid that same fate.
Okay.
That's the short.
This is a short version.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I should mention I'm a dad. I've got a kid that can rep out 60 push-ups straight. 10-year-old girl, so I'm pretty proud of her for that.
That's impressive.
Oh, she
That
gives me
is
a run for my money.
that is
She's
very
keto.
impressive. Yeah. So, we both work for Revero, and so, we talk a lot about nutrition, always. Like, we're both in the carnivore space. I'm more ketovore than carnivore, but we're both here in the keto carnivore space. And so tell me a little bit about your experience with patients that we see, and, is nutrition enough? Because the whole title of this is about the 4 pillars. So is nutrition, is it enough that you've seen?
I'm going to throw a curveball and say it's enough under the right circumstance, but that's such a trick thing for me to say out loud. It is typically because somebody is accidentally giving a lot of attention to the other pillars of health. So I've never seen it be enough in isolation. Like, you
Yep.
you can't just be letting all the stresses overwhelm you. You can't be, spending all your time in a basement on a computer, never moving around, and expect like really good health or recovery if you're in a really rough spot. So yeah, it's been interesting. I think a lot of people come in, and you can probably attest to this, thinking like this is all going to be about nutrition. But then when we start asking them about like their movement, stress levels, sleep quality,
Yeah.
I think that a lot of people, in my experience with my caseload, have gotten very interested. They're like, wait a second, there's more to it than just keto or carnivore. It's like hope. It's like there are more areas, more avenues to start working towards aligning with how humans are supposed to live, so that you're not stuck in this disease loop.
Yeah, so that I've definitely been finding that out, and because a lot of people come to it, well, they'll come to me like but I'm eating lion diet, and I only drink water and only consume salt, and I don't do sweeteners, and I eat 1 meal a day, and they're doing the right nutritional things,
Right.
and it's like, okay, so how's your sleep? Oh, well, sometimes I stay up late. I might go to bed around 9 some nights, maybe midnight some other nights, and sometimes I get up at 5 or might be getting up at 7. It's like, okay, like, do you wake up during the middle of the night? Yeah, like, yeah, yeah. It's like, okay, so we've got some place to start
Yes.
because sleep, I personally think that sleep is probably number 2 on my list. Like,
Yeah.
get your nutrition right, it's about 80% of it. And then I hit sleep up because sleep disruption leads to stress issues, right?
Yeah.
And then stress responses. And so like it's a snowball. To me, it's a snowball effect.
Oh, 100%. I align with you very closely on that because I don't think a person can really truly get in a meaningful net positive healing, I guess I'll broadly say, when your sleep is just so disrupted. I mean, you see it with night shift workers, it's more like damage control at that point.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of sad. But I mean, I do have people that, they say, I just can't fall asleep until like 1 a.m. And that's the first place that I would troubleshoot too. Like, what are you doing leading up to bed? Oh, you're like, I'll even pick on myself a little bit and myself in the past. It's like, oh, you're gaming with friends when it's like pitch black outside and you're keeping your brain active and your screen brightness is all the way up. Like, no wonder your brain can't shut down. You're not, you're stressed out. There's not a whole lot of melatonin in the equation right now. And it goes down and down and down. But when people get that switched, which I will say, it can be such a hard battle for people that I've seen, because sometimes when they have a really busy day schedule and they have a lot of chaos in their life, it's like they feel like they're clawing back time for just themselves that they haven't had all day. And it's at the end of the day, it's like, I'm resisting sleep. I want to be able to choose what I'm doing. And I get that.
I see that with moms.
Mm-hmm.
Moms are bad about that because we do so much during the day and we're dealing with helping everybody else, and jobs on top of it, and the only peace we get is at 10 o'clock at night. But what damage are you doing to yourself in the long run? So what's your biggest tip for sleep? We can run through the biggest tips for each of the 4 pillars. Obviously, you want to do a low carbohydrate diet. So everybody knows that we're keto carnivore people.
Yes.
Okay. Nutrition is covered. Okay. So sleep. What's your number 1 tip? And then I'll give you mine.
Man, well, my number 1 has everything to do with circadian rhythm and getting in the sun. I think I will say, I'll throw it out there, I recognize some people's circumstances don't allow them to get morning sunlight or watch the sunset, but that's just something that I tell people, if you can make a really big difference. That light signaling, starting out your day with watching the sunrise, it just sets the rhythm for the rest of the day so that you get tired when you're supposed to. But that's my number 1 thing. And, if people can adhere to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I like get people to get sunrise. I think that I start with number 1. I start them with like at least set a set bedtime and a set rise time.
Oh yeah.
And if you're going to sacrifice one, you're going to sacrifice bedtime, but you're never going to sacrifice when you get up in the morning. And that is really super hard for people, especially on the weekends when they can, like, I can sleep in. Guilty here.
Same.
Like, oh, wait a minute. Saturday, I can sleep until 8. Yes. But I find that if we can just start getting people on an even rhythm of like bed at 10, wake at 6, or like whatever that is, if we can get that, it does a lot to start to reset some of that circadian rhythm. And, stacking little atomic habits up, up on top of each other to get them to fall asleep by 10, is kind of where I try to start, or 9, or whatever their goal is. It's individual, depending on their skills. Yeah.
Definitely. I love that so much. I will admit, I knew you were going to say that, and that's why I kind of veered towards the sunlight, because it's like kind of hand in hand, and I like how you approach it. It just makes sense. And not to go off on such a super huge tangent, but I feel like having that repeatable, predictable schedule in maybe what people would call woo-woo terms as signaling safety to the body. It's predictable.
See, I like that you call it safety, because that's going to lead us to the next one, right? What's the next pillar for you?
Are we jumping into stress right now? Or
yeah.
That one. My goodness. I mean, I've kind of taken the charge here on some. Do you want to take the lead on what you might work with people on in terms of dealing with that?
On stress management? Well, I talk to them about what they can control, obviously. Now, I might not ask it in those certain terms, but we find out what they can control and what they can't control. Obviously, you can control your response to something, but sometimes you can't control, like, a family member having a cancer diagnosis, or a child being sick, or a child acting out or being in trouble. It's like there's so much stressors in this world, whether it's economic or whether it's just illness or money, like people are so stressed out. Some of the things that I try to work with them on is learning what they can control and what they can't, and then moderating the response to that stress. So whether that's going to be, are you going to yell at that person? And I'm guilty of this, of popping off hot, at somebody. But, or are you going to take a deep breath and box breathe? Like different stress management techniques. And, I'll send them resources and stuff for different ones. But I'm a huge fan for stress management of people aligning with their faith. Like if they are a faith-based person, I tell people to lean on their faith, and I pull out faith-based resources. Like for women, I really like the book Get Out of Your Head by Jenny Allen. It's a really good book. For mixed sexes, it's the Winning the War of Your Mind is a really good book for that. And then there's apps like using the Calm app, using the Dwell app, using Hallow. I can't say it because I got a bad accent. The Hallow app for those. I think that's more Catholic versus Protestant, and I think the Dwell app is more Protestant based. But
Gotcha.
Using these types of things, Indel. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Have you heard of Indel?
I have not.
This one was specifically designed for ADHD people.
Oh,
which is me.
Beautiful.
Super ADHD. And it has like a lot of binaural beats and things. Super cool. And I tell people to go to YouTube. Like, obviously that was a paid app, and it sucks that it's a paid app, but I'm like, go to YouTube and find binaural beats for stress management or for focus, or, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. Put your earphones on and let the waves wash over you. And like, it really does like start to sync up with your brain, and you're like laser focused. And, that, cause I use it for studying, and it really does work. And using it at night, at a certain hertz, I can't remember what mine is that I use it at night, but it's for Delta sleep, like to help with Delta wave sleep.
Yeah.
And, just using that can help mitigate stress too. But I also talk to people about calming the vagus nerve, and they think I'm crazy because I'm like, you can just hum.
Yep.
Like just humming. That's why people, when you see yogis and they're like, that's why it works, is because you're vibrating the vagus nerve, and it calms that nervous system down. So there's different techniques that you can use, and those are my little tips and tricks that I throw at people. What do you do for stress management for your people?
You haven't left a whole lot for me to touch on, so no, that's
you have like a whole manual for things. I know.
I just really try to be. I just like having all the tools in the belt. I feel maybe it's like this paranoia that I'm going to run to the end of the tools in the belt and leave somebody hanging. So that's why I'm just constantly digging for stuff.
Yeah.
But like everything you listed out, I love it because it's pretty comprehensive over the different areas of stress. I guess you could say it kind of touches on and helps alleviate the pressures of all the different areas of stress, whether it be, perceived or physical stress. And I think for me, I tread into, and I do want to be very vocal, or not vocal, but very open with people. We're not therapists, but I like to be therapy informed and be
Yeah.
aware of those concepts. And I will tell people, about the benefits of positive self-talk and how world's top performers, Olympic athletes, you see them talking to themselves, but they also change how they think in their head. That voice in their head is very much that of, I would equate it to talk to yourself like you're a kid, like, or you're a parent and you're talking to the kid. Like, give yourself some love, give yourself some grace. It doesn't have to be beating yourself up and just going along with what I think society's kind of pushed us into, which is always grind. You're never good enough. And it's so detrimental. But I think,
well, I think we have a society that perpetuates certain things, and it perpetuates the love of self above all else, and I think that we see that in Hollywood, and because we're bombarded with it, we're like, well, look how skinny she is now. I need to be like, I need to be that skinny, and or she got a nose job. Now mine's like, she used to be my role model. Now she cut her nose off. Now I got to get mine cut off because that means that I'm not pretty. Like, so especially girls, women are so horrible. Men, there's like a little bit of leadway in men, but with women, it's brutal. It's brutal out there for us. Like,
we got ego to protect us. Like, I'm fine the way I am. I'm great. So it's like opposite side of the spectrum. But I do think like this term, the phrase love of self, has been hijacked. It's just people have been presented with a definition of it that I don't think is aligned with reality, which is, I think more accurately, we could call it obsession with self, or obsession with, I don't know. We think we're trying to be more ourselves, but we're just trying to be more accepted. And at the end of the day, that just breeds more stress because you feel like you can never be enough.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. So, I mean, that's why I lean on, like, I really like when my faith people lean onto their faith, because their identity is not in what others think of them. It's in who the creator thinks of them as, and like, so I like leaning on that with people. And it makes me happy that I can do that and not get in trouble for it.
Yes.
It's nice. So, yeah. So,
well, I thought of one other quick thing, because I know I've kind of tread off into like the mental and the, the non-physical tangible things. There's one thing that's kind of interesting that a lot of people have tried, and this is in the context of people who are stressed out, maybe because their sleep's not good, maybe because of an environment they can't change. I have a lot of people in New York, and it's like there's constant noise, and
right?
It's scary.
I thought about that, the noise.
It's so bad. I mean, to the point where, it's honking motorcycles, police sirens, so on. What you suggested with the beats and with the music, I think it makes a big difference. But I have seen, and this is a whole other space, is like the EMF sensitive crowd. I'll just say it that way. You see some blood sugar elevated around that kind of thing. Well, some of the people I've worked with have taken either the TV out of the room or turned the Wi-Fi off at night, but they've gotten these little white noise machines that are mechanical that they plug in the bed at night. Yes, me too. And it has allowed them to sleep through all that chaos, because it somewhat combats it and evens the noise in the sleep space, and then it makes them less stressed.
Yes, and I actually, so if I have people that have sleep issues with who have I'm going to try to say it correctly, tinnitus. I'm from like backwoods West Virginia, so it was always tinnitus. So tinnitus, and they can't sleep because the constant ringing in their ears. White noise machines, fan machines, like, are really great for that too. So, because that can be very stressful. Like, you're sitting there and you hear the whole time. You're like, oh my gosh, I can't sleep. I have nothing for earworms. If you have an earworm, I'm really sorry. If you know what that is, do you know what an earworm is?
Oh, so it's not what it sounds like.
No, it is not. It is songs stuck in your head, music
Oh,
playing on a loop, and it's usually only, it's never the whole song. It's only like a small portion. So when you get that, combating that is really super hard. And the
hmm.
more you try to forget it, the worse it gets. It's almost didn't know this. I was studying it recently because I'm like, why do people get this? I was like, because I have it, because I'm obsessed with music. And if you have like are obsessed with music, then you have a tendency to get earworms. And it's actually closely related to OCD, and I didn't know that. But I don't have other signs of OCD. That's just earworm, like head songs stuck, head bad. Um, so I have nothing for that. So if anybody ever does, please pop over to my channel, put it in the comments somewhere, like, hey, you got an earworm? This is how you fix it. I will be forever grateful and figure out how to reward you handsomely.
I love that. Well, it's interesting. Based off your definition, I've dealt with that in past phases of my life, and I'm not going to say that carnivore fixed it, but it seemed to not happen after starting, which I'm sure there's another parallel behavior because I was health conscious that I adopted at the time that influenced that.
Yeah.
But man, I've been there, and
Well, it does happen during periods of intense stress too. So it's like it
that makes
can
sense.
re come back, and it could be triggered by anything, and it's a super interesting neurological function, and it's very weird, and it's
Huh.
very annoying when you wake up in the middle of the night to like skillet going off in your head, or like surviving the game just starts playing in your head, and you're like, I wasn't even listening to it for like the past week, like where did it come from? Like I must have dreamt it. But no, it's like weird stuff that triggers
Huh.
it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I
So
get that
that's
with
a big
dreams.
stressor for people, right? Like
Yeah.
because you can't make it stop, and I think that's one of the problems with it, is that it's to get a diagnosis of it, and then there's a technical term, and I can't remember what it is, but to get that diagnosis, it has to have a major impact on your life, on your quality of life. So
Uh,
sleep, stress, can't think, things like that. And I think that that's important, right? If it's just like bebopping along and like, you know, toxic by Britney Spears in your head for a minute, it's not a big deal. But when you have something that's like loop, and then it loops
yeah,
back, then it loops back, and so
that's interesting.
it is, and that's where then you get the mental neurological diagnosis that comes in with it. So
Man.
it's super, super fascinating. You should go study it sometime. Just go look at this there, because there's scholarly articles on it. It's interesting. So
You've inspired me. Well, and I think the more that I learn, and even talking in this conversation now, the more I realized if I had been more involved in the medical system growing up, I would have a laundry list of diagnoses that I'm kind of lucky that I didn't have, because I think I would have been inclined to make it my identity back then.
yeah, well, I didn't know I was ADHD until I was older, and took like an assessment. But it's interesting because in 1980s, you just didn't hear people getting that diagnosis, especially girls. Girls rarely got that diagnosis. But in my school records from, kindergarten and first grade, it was very evident, like with the
Mhm.
language that they used. It's the same language that they used for my kids, and like with Audrey, like inattentive, it can't stay in her seat, or always on the go, and difficulty paying attention, very bright, but can't stay on task. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Now I know where she gets it.
I don't know, it's so interesting. I think, have you ever heard the idea that people with ADHD or even presenting with similar like characteristics of it would have just survived better in the wild?
I have not, but what I do find interesting is that I made it without interventions all the way up through, I mean, even today, I mean, the only interventions I put in is like music that helps me focus because I get overstimulated. And, it came out worse after I went carnivore.
Wow.
Keto and carnivore, because I think part of it was because I was so fatigued
Oh,
from my autoimmune issues that it tamped a lot of it down. And then once I got my energy back, it's like, whoo, it's like a head is all over the place and focus is shifting squirrels everywhere. And I mean, but I know how to cope with it. So like I still make A's, I still get all my stuff done. This is why I'm a really bad housekeeper though. And my husband will absolutely attest that I am not meant to be a stay-at-home mom.
oh wow.
Like he's like, you're not meant to be a homemaker. I'm like, I know.
You're the shield maiden. You're supposed to be out there fighting. Yes.
Trying to. I am trying. I had a patient today tell me that this was my talent, and it just, absolutely hit me. I was like, I needed that today. I
deserved it.
I needed it. It wasn't just, I don't think I deserve it. But I needed that today. So if they ever happen to see this, he or she, thank you, because I needed it today.
Love it.
So, yeah, but I think that's fascinating. But yeah, so we kind of got off topic, but our nutrition's on point. Sleep has to be on point. I've seen so many people, and this is just a little tangent, but so many people come to us and they're like, I can't lose weight, but their sleep sucks. And then we fix their sleep and like things start to get better, right? Or they come to us and their stress management sucks. And we start working on that and it starts to get better. And when it's interesting because once they start fixing those things, there's certain other things that start to fall into place too. Like, it's amazing how when you fix your sleep and your stress, certain cravings also drop off. And I don't know if you've noticed that with your patients. Like, it's like they no longer have as much need for willpower, right? And it's like, whoa, it's like there's a little bit of food freedom there that comes along with that once we get sleep and stress that they might, like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, carnivore will fix all your food cravings. Not if you're not working on the four pillars.
Right. 100%.
It might take care of most of them, but if you're still stressed out and food was your coping mechanism, it's still going to be your coping mechanism. Your brain is automatically going to be like, that ice cream that you really like, it's just a mile down the road, and then next thing you know, you're in the car driving and picking up a pint of Ben & Jerry's.
Yep.
Or Haagen-Dazs, whatever one was your go-to, drug of choice. But that's what I've seen is that you start fixing that.
Absolutely. Exact same thing since the get-go. I mean, I do get the people that come in thinking that this is just a willpower game. They're like, man, I need somebody with me to keep me accountable so that I can make it for a 6 months, a year. And I think it's very nice to present to them and give them hope that, it's not actually that way in most cases. There's a good chance that once you manage these different areas of lifestyle and calm your stress down, you're, not to just go diving right into, but like your gut microbiome, it's going to shift. It's going to change. The makeup of your gut microbiome is going to be different depending on your stress levels, your sleep health.
Yes. And that's a whole other ball game is maybe that should be a topic for another time, is talking about gut health.
Yeah. Sorry to tread into that.
No, because that's huge. Honestly, I think that the gut is the number one culprit of most of our problems is gut health. I really do, which makes sense as to why there's certain supplements that they're finding out even cleans out arteries. Like, I don't know if you saw the study on TUDCA.
Yes.
Which we all love TUDCA. But the study on it is like that it's actually reversing coronary artery disease better than even nattokinase at this point. And it's like mind blown. But it's all about the gut. And I think that's that's super, that's super important, so maybe that's a topic for another time.
Gotta be, because I could just rattle off forever with you. I'm sure it's
Oh,
it's all interconnected.
there's so much.
Oh
So last pillar that we haven't talked about is physical activity.
yeah. Oh yeah. I feel like that's where a lot of us started before we really had the full picture too. I say that because I got
It's
into
all
health and wellness.
calories in, calories out. Eat less, move more. So,
Yep.
right, that's what it was. Like before we were smart enough to, before we were educated. Let's say before we were educated on the truth.
Yeah. We didn't know. What is it? We were born into it.
Yeah. So, what do you talk to your patients about and your clients too? Because you do have your own private practice too. So, what do you talk to them about when it comes to physical?
Yeah. I mean, I will disclose, I mean, I started out as a personal trainer back in 2018. So that's where I thought I was beginning my charge into the darkness to fix everybody's health just through teaching people how to work out. But of course, it's not that simple. But I will say, in that regard, I know that a lot of our patient population is older, and I don't want that to come across as older people can't do crazy stuff, because I know 90-year-olds that can outlift me. So I just talk to people about what's sustainable in their context, and trying to make sure I give all the details here, because of course people aren't going to know the context of these specific people. But a lot of the people I'm working with, they're not necessarily people that are at liberty to just immediately out the gate start going to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe that's not the answer, because it depends on where they are in their journey of troubleshooting stress. It can help, but I think there are certain contexts in which it can hurt. But I start people out with really simple ideas, and I call them movement appetizers. So at the very least, if you can't get to the gym, what do you think about maybe doing 10 to 20 squats, if you're able to, before every meal? That could be your starting place. It'll help you, with your blood sugar regulation. It'll help you, make better use, I think, of your meal. And I'm going off experience more so than digging into the science of it, but it just seems to help people, especially if they have a little bit of rumbly tummy after meals. That little bit of movement seems to take the edge off, and over time gets rid of it in some cases. But that's my idea for the busy person that is trying to find their footing in the movement space. Those little pre-meal, workout appetizers, and then from there it's walking.
Yeah. Well, walking is like, well, we're both Marxism people, so it's like walking is like his jam. It's why he made shoes. It's like now he's in the shoe space, but which one day I will have a pair. One day. But like they even make boots now. Sorry, tangent squirrel.
Wow.
Winter boots. They make winter boots now. The Palooza winter boots. Yep.
I learned.
Yep, they're pretty cool looking. But I always I think personally that exercise is icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
Exercise is really the last part that I focus heavy on people. If you're doing everything else right, you got your nutrition right, you got your sleep right, you got your stress, managed, exercise is going to come easy peasy lemon squeezy. And it's going to just naturally flow from everything, because you got more energy and you're less stressed, and you start going out and walking and getting some sunshine, and you're walking your dog because your dog's getting fat, and but you know what I mean? Like, you're doing all these things. And then I'm like, okay, especially my women, I'm always like, so are you doing your strength training? And I don't care. You do not have to go out and lift heavy stuff. You do need to lift body weight, doing your squats, your push-ups, learning how to do a pull-up. The big five, if you're going to do weight training, then starting to learn how to do the big five, bench, squat, all that. All the compound movements, deadlift, if you can. If you can't, don't try it yet. modified deadlift. Don't go out and just start deadlifting for the sake of deadlifting. But, I find that if you get everything else right, then your body's going to recomp with just the first 3. Then you sprinkle on a little bit of, weight training and plus some just extra movement throughout the day. You really will see the results explode. You'll feel so much better. You'll start getting a little muscle definition. You'll feel like you can just walk. It's just walking up the stairs carrying a basket of laundry, which you couldn't do before. And you're like, oh, or like Super. One of my people was like, I did like a 5-mile hike. Oh, it's like, yes, like this is, yes, and it's because they've got everything else right.
Yep.
And their energy is up and they've gotten enough protein so their muscles recover super fast. And so it's always my last go-to. I tell people to move. I don't care what you do, just move. You don't like to walk, bike. You don't like to bike, row. You don't like, do you like boxing? Like if you're like me and you're like, I really like martial arts. Well, then, shadow box. I don't care. Yeah. That is movement and it's functional. So it's like, I don't care. Just move, some extra movement, and it's not about calories in, calories out. It's about hormonal control and the macros you're putting in.
Yes. All the proper signaling. So it's,
yes.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad you touched on all that. I mean, I definitely eased into it with like walking and movement appetizers, but that is really the steak and butter of like how to really get the most out of everything once you've kind of laid the foundations. Because I've definitely tried over the course of my life to hit the gym hard while everything else was out of whack, and it just felt like I was perpetually stepping backwards. And it's doing what society told me I was supposed to do. Oh, you didn't sleep well, get up and work out anyway. And I think there are circumstances where a rough night of sleep, maybe working out is a good decision, but in a lot of cases I think if it's a consistent tear yourself down like I was doing, I had a 6-month period where I was working out for 2 to 3 hours a night 6 nights a week. And
ew,
it was bad. I only did it because I had 2 equally sick accountability buddies. And, I will say a testament to the human body. I was actually able to build muscle and got accused of using steroids once, which I'll take as a compliment, but
that is a compliment. It's a compliment, like all natty. Yes.
Yes. All natty, but at what cost?
But at what cost? Well, yeah. So, so most people, if you follow, at least on my Instagram, that I hit the gym like 5 days a week. This week is a no gym week because I have screwed up this shoulder again. And I don't even know what did it. Like Friday worked out and I was like, oh, that twinged a little bit. Oh yeah. Thumbs up. Yeah. Worked out on Friday, that twinged a little bit. And then I was like, by the end of the evening, I was like, I can't raise my arm. Like my husband was having to help me like undress. It's pretty pathetic, but it's like, it shows you that if you go too hard, and I don't even know which exercise it was, like you have to really know your body and stop when it says stop.
Oh yeah.
Or don't when it says don't. And right now, like I could go and lift on my legs if I wanted to, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the week. I haven't had a week off in a long time. And I'm just going to take 1 week and I'm going to fuel my body. And I think we're all kind of coming down with something, and I'm not sure what it. My husband has an upper respiratory, but we've got a little bit of some GI tummy issues too. So we don't, and like it's more than just. It's like 3 or 4 of us, like all 4 of us, having some issues. So we're like, I don't know, maybe we're coming down with something. So I'm letting my body rest and feeding myself properly and just studying and working and, not thinking about working out and
Yes.
trying to, because that's stress. It really stresses me out to not be at the gym in the mornings.
Yeah.
So I'm having to remind myself, rest is good. Rest
That's
is
so
good.
counterculture.
It is very counterculture. So, but I'm going
Oh.
to try to allow my body to rest. And I think that we don't teach people that enough. Like, what do you teach people about resting?
Ooh, man, that's a whole can of worms to open up, because it's so the whole rest conversation in society can get toxic, because people are conditioned to feel guilty about stopping. We I think as a society have been taught that our worth is tied to our productivity, and at the end of the day, that's just not true. Maybe from a corporate standpoint, but I tell people, rest is important. You can't just go and go and go. Rest is when, for example, rest is when the muscle is built, not when you're in the gym. So
Yes.
it's so critical. And I think a lot of people end up at our doorstep because they've spent a lifetime not giving any attention to rest. It's just been running into the red.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a patient like that, and they worked in a field where they were on call all the time and couldn't get anything under control. And it was because their sleep schedule was so erratic, and they might have sleep for like 2 hours this little time block and maybe an hour here, and like it was so like all over the place. And they like that goes I had a conversation with this person too. I was like, well, how lucrative is your job? Like, is it something that you could switch to a job where you're not on call 24/7? Because that, like, 24/7 out in the field, if they needed them. Like, it could be 2 in the morning, it could be 4 in the afternoon, it could be 24 hours straight of taking calls. And that person was a mess. And it's like, when do you choose your health? Because their health was tanking, walking around with blood pressures like 210 over like 120, like stroke level constantly. And it's like when do you choose? Like, the money's great, but is it worth your life?
Right.
And I think that, like, you do have to choose your hard.
100%. I'm with you on that. I've had that conversation with people too. It's like, you're right now, you're in a position where you're choosing your job over your health, and you're not going to be able to carry money in a plastic bag to the great beyond. So it's
right. You can't take it with you. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I don't care what religion or what anything you are. Like, once you're in the ground, it's here on earth. It ain't going nowhere else. So unless it's in paper form and somebody lights a match to it, so you do have to make some choices. And it's like, is it worth your health? Like, whatever it is that's stressing you out. So if it's your job, is it worth it?
Yeah. Health is wealth. So
it is. And time is money, and time is precious. It's the only currency that we have. That we can never get back.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, we are all born with a stamped expiration date. They literally had a movie on this, like, where they had clocks on their wrists, and it's
Justin Timberlake.
Yes.
In time.
In time, that one. And it's like, that currency is like, it's gone, and you don't get more. Like, I know that there's somebody that's trying to fight dying out there, whatever his name is, that weirdo that's like drinking his son's blood. Like, he's not delaying any type of inevitable. It's coming.
Yeah.
Like,
might even be taken away, but I don't know. That's Well, to your point, I mean, it's like the currency is finite, but the efficiency at which you spend it, that's where you can work on it. And yeah, it's
And
like,
what bucket you're putting it in. Like,
yeah,
are you putting it into your job? Or are you putting it into your family? Because your family's your legacy.
yes, yes, we're spending money on things, not experiences, and the experience is life and health and family. And it's kind of scary. I think we're getting to a point where this might not even be true anymore, but it's like we're extending lifespan, but we're shortening health span as a society.
Well, I've often looked at, the like looking at medications. Let's think about like in today's society. Um, how many people are walking around on a handful of pills that if they didn't have those pills, they would die?
Ooh,
So many. And it's like what are we trading? We're trading quality of life for length of life. And I think that, I mean, in some people, that's a good trade off.
yeah,
You know, if you have cancer and you have the choice to take a chemotherapy that will extend your life 9 months, that will allow you to see your grandbaby be born, is it worth it? Maybe that might be
yeah,
somebody's trade off, that it's worth it to them. But, and somebody else may be like, taking it just to extend my life 9 months. If it's going to be 9 months of hell,
yeah,
then no. Like, so it's decision making. But people with heart failure, they have to take their heart failure medications or they die. And it's like, what do you choose? And you have to choose your heart. Consequently, we do have a diet that helps with a lot of these things. And we teach it and preach it and walk it. Actually, it's
yep,
actually, let's see, today is, well, the 4th. We're just shy of me being keto 8 years, just shy of
solid.
8 years.
Wow, congrats, early
I know,
congrats. Yeah,
18.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's so powerful,
it is.
man. You
I
made
was
a
like,
good point. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead. I
Oh,
made a
I
good
didn't
point.
want to.
No, you're
I
not
didn't want.
talking. I talk too much. You talk.
Wow, I mean, it's typically me that's like word salading, well, word staking. But what you were talking about, how for some people it's worth it to take a particular medication for the extension of life, and for some people it's not. At the end of the day, it's up to them, and I think that's the beautiful mission, I think, of health coaching, and its foundation is not to mold somebody into what we want them to be as coaches, but to empower them to make decisions and have that true informed consent that they're not getting otherwise. And I think that's really cool, because at the end of the day, even if somebody decides to do something that's not what we would do ourselves, if they know the risks, they understand what they're doing, they've made their peace with it, then they're still walking that path with dignity versus being like a confined zoo animal that has no control over what's going to happen to them. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah. Well, it's all about choice, and we have to each make our own choices that are best for us, which is, you know, we talked about the 4 pillars of health. Now, let's go back to the top one, which was nutrition.
Mhm.
And one of the things that, because we have 12 minutes left and we kind of went through everything. One of the things I think that bothers me about the community at large right now, especially the carnivore community, is, and it's only a small sect, people, so don't hate on me right now. But, and I say sect very intentionally. But there are certain people that hate on anybody that steps off the carnivore wagon. Oh, you added back in lettuce?
Mhm.
Such a hypocrite. How horrible of you to do that. And we start hating on people, or somebody's like, listen, this lifestyle is just, to me, it's not sustainable. So I'm going to add in a little bit of carbs, and they feel better. And they're like, oh my gosh, guys, I feel better. I'm going to do it this way. And this is my way. And then you've got people that slam people or talk bad about people, or literally put together reels making fun of people or blasting out people. And I'm like, y'all,
Yeah.
What kind of pettiness are y'all into? Like, because I ain't about that life. Like, ain't about that life. I'm here to help people heal. And if that means that somebody needs paleo and somebody needs lion diet, two people need two different things. And I think we're all individual. And I think that we need to be like, extend more grace. And I think there's some people that are just so dogmatic and has treated it like such a religion. And this is not a religion, so I think that we need to kind of pump the brakes a little bit and be like, what's our goal? What's our end goal? Because my end goal and your end goal is the same. We want to help people heal, right?
Positive health outcomes.
Yeah. So, you're carnivore. I know you're carnivore, but I eat, sometimes I eat zucchini, and sometimes I eat squash. Every once in a while I've gotten sushi, and it's like, and it's like, does that make me not a carnivore? Last time I checked, hyper carnivore was anything 70% animal based. We're getting a little nitpicky here, but it's like, but that's not predominantly my diet. Like today, my diet was pretty much carnivore.
Yeah.
Tomorrow it might not be.
Yeah.
And tomorrow it might be more keto, depending on how I feel. There's some stuff I added back in and it was like, yep, can't do it. Still can't do it. So it's like, it gets cut again, but it's okay to experiment, to see. Like, the whole goal was an elimination diet to see what made my autoimmune flare and what didn't. I'll tell you what, cheese is the devil.
Oof. Yeah.
Cheese and dairy are the devil. And
rough.
I feel my taste buds love it when I make my homemade ice cream. My taste buds love it.
I love that for you.
I can tell you that my jaws hurt, my face hurts when I consistently have too much cream.
Yeah.
I can do cream cheese, so like certain cream cheeses, okay? Like Tillamook doesn't seem to bother me, but it doesn't have anything in it. Like, they don't put preservatives or gums, or it's like just straight, it's literally cream cheese. But it's like, so that one doesn't bother me as much as long as I have it in small quantities.
Yeah.
But even like a little bit of heavy cream every day is detrimental to me. So it's like, and that's animal based. I see carnivores that guzzle that stuff down, and they're like, yeah, but why are you eating the squash? I'm like, why are you eating booby milk?
Yeah, it's that, man. I think I've spoken to a lot of people all over that spectrum of reactivity to people doing different than what they're doing. And I think at the end of the day, we're on the same team. I mean, paleo, low carb, keto, carnivore. And I think that there is also a fundamental misunderstanding or miscommunication, I'll say, because there's a particular doctor, I won't name her, but I had a heart to heart with her, and she was under a lot of flack for a while, and she broke down and cried when we were talking. And it was like, I'm so sorry. I mean, it was in a moment where nobody else was going to hear our conversation. She had nothing to gain from lying to me. She just was kind of, I had met her 5 minutes before this conversation took place, and she was just unloading. And I really appreciated that she trusted me in that moment, but she just let me know, like, it was never my intention to, like, I'm not saying that carnivore is bad. I'm just saying that for me, I had to change, and everybody took it as me saying that carnivore doesn't work. And it's like, I'm so sorry. I think that even I'm guilty of it earlier on in my journey of making it an identity, and I didn't realize it was. And so anything that challenged it or looked different than it seemed like a threat. But and I think I get it, because culture can be it's already polarizing across all other areas, and so it kind of follows us as we go to different compartments of our life.
Agreed. I was there too at some point, and then really like started thinking about it and like relaxed my stance on being hardcore carnivore like 24/7, because I was like, I really do like Ben Azadi's idea of having metabolic flexibility. And we should be healed enough to the point where if we do eat something, our body bounces right back. And, that's metabolic flexibility. And, I mean, a very simplified version of what he teaches. But you know what I mean? Like, we should be able to do that. We should be able to go to Europe and eat the cake because we're in Europe and be like, and I'm good, and it not be super detrimental to our health. Now, in America, if it's processed, it's gonna tear you up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because our food system really sucks. But everybody watching knows that.
Yeah.
That it sucks. No, I find the dogma to be very disheartening. And there are some people that I stopped following because they were so dogmatic. And these are people that like I really liked, but then I saw some things that they posted and things that their loved ones posted on social media. And it really just kind of like hurt my heart because our goals are all the same to help people heal. And it's so frustrating.
Well, it breaks my heart too. I don't think I talk about it very much just because I think that there are a lot of people that are better at talking about it than I am. But I think I'm such a in the middle friends with everybody person. I always have been. And I don't have strong, brash views that I want to throw out there very often because I don't know. I'm so mindful of what I don't know, even about, the nitty gritty of every little situation. I think I am an overthinker. I always have been, and I've found a way to not let it be a detriment to my life. But every person I encounter, even people that hate me, I can't not think about how this moment and who they are is a culmination of their life's events. And nobody that's a jerk has had a life that was necessarily kind to them. I'm even open to that being wrong, but I can't think of anybody I've encountered in my life that was a mean person who wasn't a hurt person at some point, or maybe they're a hurt person now.
Hurt people hurt people. I don't know if you've heard that,
many times.
Hurt people. Yeah. So that is, yeah.
Well, and that's why this whole thing tears me up, because I think it's just people not quick to love each other. I wish that it was kind of default to love on each other because, I can't, even with somebody I disagree with, I'm going to use a name. It's the rare time I'll use a name, but it's like I could say something negative about Lane Norton, but at the end of the day, I don't, because my empathy has taken me over. No, I get it. I mean, there are many things I want to say, but you know me from our past conversations.
I do.
It's too much empathy, I think.
Some days might be.
Yeah.
I think you poured more into other people's buckets than what you were probably getting back in return.
Yeah.
And I think that you're okay with that. And you might need to work on some rest yourself sometime.
I might, I've actually felt less burnt out the more I've poured into others' buckets. So maybe I'm like that weird person that like recharges by doing that. Or there's a divine power putting more in my bucket while I'm pouring in others. But
that now you know that I'm not opposed to that either.
Yeah, I feel full.
I feel like people take a lot. But I have kids and I'm a mom.
Well, there's that.
So I think that they take and take and take and take. Hopefully one day they'll give.
That's the investment, right? That they'll turn around.
It's supposedly. I don't know. I guess I'll see. I'm hoping to see, an ROI on that one.
Oh yeah. When it comes time to put you in a nursing home, they'll look at back and think like, can't do that. She was too great to us.
No nursing home. Just take me to like Oregon.
Yes. Just stay out to a big open field.
Just leave me do like the Inuits and just leave me on the ice for the polar bears. I'll freeze to death first. No, it's really, don't do that, people. Like, it's weird. That's actually terrifying to think about. But there are people that do it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been a great hour. I can't believe it's already over.
Oh, I can't believe either. I feel like there's so much we didn't touch on, but I'm sure that we did touch on a lot.
We did. But yeah, so where can people find you? You have a mighty network. A lot of people might not know that. You have a mighty network called the Keto Keep. It's a great free community, people. And there's lovely people in there.
Thank you. Yeah, we do want it was a selfish act. We want to bring people in so we can love on them because we get energy from doing that. So yeah, that's what I'll say. But yeah, I guess I'm in the same places. Oh yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. And you have your own private practice. Where can they find that?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm most active on Instagram, just rance.fsh, which stands for Full Spectrum Human. That's my private practice, but you can find my website by just going to fsh-coach.com. And I'm in the process of throwing all kinds of free stuff that's going to help people, just empower them, teach them. And I won't get off on any more of a tangent than that.
Okay. Well, it has been great having you on, and we're going to go ahead and end it here. If anybody wants to reach out to Rance, you can find it in the website in the comments. That word retrieval issues today. Yeah. So anyway, it's actually really fun. We'll have to do this again.
Absolutely. I loved it, and it was an honor to be on.
Aw, I'm just glad you accepted.
I'll accept it in the future.
And then I'll talk to you tomorrow at work.
Oh, that's right.
Every day.
Every day.
So, all right, everybody. You guys have a good night. Bye.